Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new video, and this time I want to share with you the last tournament I participate was Age of Sigmar. I want to give an overview of the com and also the atmosphere and what I have seen there. I will do the battle reports of the 3 games we played. It was a team tournament, 2 versus 2. I played with my Age of Sigmar army just recently painted. I had to use almost all the figures that I paint. So yeah, but was very interesting. The tournament was held by the Games Workshop of Brussels. It's quite a small shop. Was a small tournament and was 6 teams participating, so 12 people. And yeah, because they only have three tables, so we were not able to have more space. The tables are 4x4, a little bit small, and yeah, the armies were quite big. So what the point is, I told with them, the armies were a little bit too big, maybe. Say they are exploring, they are still calibrating the tournament to understand how big is the points and how big are the armies depending on the points. So yeah, it's a good way. So we are learning how to use Age of Sigmar. We are learning how to play tournaments. I'm not a competitive player normally. I like to play just casual. I'm not focused on tournaments. You know that. But yeah, but if there's a tournament in the local area, I like to participate. I like to go. And especially if to play Age of Sigmar that I'm really enjoying so far. Um, I went with my teammates. First of all, I have to say that there were a lot of young people playing. I start feeling old when I go to this tournament and I see teenagers playing. It's good to see that because it means that. So I will say that average age was lower than what we normally see on 8th edition games or on Warhammer 40k games. And I think this is good. Means that some new people start being interested. There were, I think, 3 people playing with the what's called this, the Stormcast Eternal, and there was another player uh, with the Bloodbone. So we see some Age of Sigmar armies also participating, not only the relaunch or the reuse of 8th edition armies. There were also some of them, but I think was quite a good. My colleague was participating with Sylvaneth, with some Wood Elves. All our army on Rome bases. Of course, my Stormcast Eternals and also the Sylvaneth. Yeah, I really enjoyed. Was very nice atmosphere, and yeah, it was fun because again I was the best painted army in the tournament. Uh, but I don't paint to win that. I just like to play with my painted armies. So yeah, that's all. I like to dedicate time to the painting. So let's go to look a little bit. I want to share a little bit the com of this. So here there is a lot. You will see this document is in French. Is the local language we use in Brussels. Normally is the main language, although you also can find Flemish. But in that case, most of the participants, or all the participants, were from the French side, speaking of Belgium. So yeah, and normally the language they use the most to do these documents is French, as the managers and the manager and also the people working the shop are from the Valon art side. Yeah, the composition of the army. This is how the armies were composed. In that case, we play 15 points here. But you have to understand that yeah, this table is made to be able to play from 5 to 30 points, depending on that. Depending how many points, this is the army composition. So there are some limit, the number maximum of units that you can use. So you see this number 15, you cannot use 15 units of 1 point, so you have to use units that cost more than 1 point. There are also a limit on the war machines that you can use. In that case was 4. The limit on the points that you can invest on heroes, this case was 6. The points that you can invest on allies, 6. And also there is room for war scrolls, what was quite interesting. When they say war scroll skills, they mean the battalion war scrolls, where you have special rules if you do the composition of your army in a specific way. I use one of these Battletome War Scrolls. I use the Thunderstrike Brotherhood. Is the one that allows to deploy in a different way the Stormcast Eternal. So instead of deploying, you keep in reserve, and they arrive like if you are summoning without any limitation in the space in the positioning, except that you have to be 9 inches from any enemy unit. I use this a lot. I think it's to give a lot of flexibility, and yeah. And I also they also have +1 to the bravery when they are 6 inches from another unit of the same battle. So yeah, the composition of the army, they put you can use named characters. Interesting. You can use guys like Nagai, the Celestial Prime. I have not seen how many points these are count. But you can use them only one per army, as used in the 8th edition. This is not specified in Age of Sigmar, but indicates the limit to 1 per army. One general, you have to have 1 general per army, and the general will be from your main faction in case you are using allies. The maximum size of a unit is 40 points of VA, means 40 wounds. And if the guys have 1 or 2 wounds, if you are using more stronger guys, then the limit is 32 wounds. What is they're limited in the number, but you can have more of the bonuses. So you can have a unit of 40 bowman if you want. Yeah, you can have only one how is called this command. The 1 banner and 1 musician per unit, and 1 paladin or 1 prime per unit, 1 hero. The option of the equipment you have to choose, and yeah, and the list of what you have is what you get. What they try to force. Here is where I said that the general have to be from your principal war scroll, or what has to be a war scroll from your principal army. There are some other rules on the allies. So the point here is the allies have to be from your same group. So if you do undead, have to be another allies from undead. If you do destruction, from destruction. If you do chaos, from chaos. Of course, chaos and order have much more choices. Destruction is not bad, but more is maybe the most limited. Then they did a lot of rules also on line of sight. Yeah, first you have to trace a line from the A and B. If you cross in impassable terrain, you cannot or the bronze line of sight you cannot see. This makes sense. A unit is in cover if 50%. Here they claim, because normally I think in Age of Sigmar it's asking you to have the full unit in terrain. Here is if it's 50% inside or behind another unit, you have cover. Or if you are behind, yeah, this is what you see here. You have to define what type of the core is, what type is the terrain, what type of terrain. All the terrain, is magic, so you have to keep that in mind. I think the point is during the battle you forget a lot of these points, because when you put a lot of rules on the terrain, it's very easy that you forget sometimes what the terrain is doing. It's interesting because we have some challenging terrain in some of the battles. Sorry, I was up here. And if you are on top of a hill, or you're a monster, if you are bigger than the units that are in front of you, you don't get blocked and you can see over the other units. Yeah, and the shooting, they also limited the shooting. They try they limit everything except the close combat. So the shooting, you only can shoot in close combat if you are in the close combat. So you can shoot your opponent, and if you are in the close combat, you cannot shoot out of the close combat. So you have to shoot the opponent you are with. So if the unit is not in close combat, cannot shoot inside. This is the rule, and if you are inside of the close combat, you have to shoot the unit that you are engaged with. Yeah, and the units inside of a house can shoot, and they have cover +1. to the armor save. And then on the magic, they also limit the magic, especially the summoning. You only can summon 1 unit per sorcerer. The unit has to be in your original list of the army. You cannot summon heroes. And you cannot summon another unit until the first unit that you have summoned is killed. So this is really limiting a lot the summoning. They only want 1 additional unit on the board per mage on the table. And this is a big limitation. What else? It's saying that the dissipation of the magic, or what's called the unbinding magic, can be done from any distance, and even if you don't have the ability. So you always can roll to try to stop power, magic move. Then there are other rules. The most interesting here, well, 1 is always a failure. This they declare that. They also declare that you cannot have better armor than 1 plus save. I forgot to say in the magic, you cannot accumulate Mystic Shield more than once on the same unit. So you only can have 1 Mystic Shield cast on a unit. And you have the lookout set rule. If you are 3 inches from one of your units, you can do lookout set. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the main points here. So based on that, then you have the list of the, well, here you have the classification, how the armies are classified. I don't think Abaddon is here yet. So we have the war type part here. And we have order. I will explain my army composition was basically the Thunderstrike Brotherhood plus the Knight Venator. There are still things that they have to look. For example, here I see 1 Glyph Home is costing 1.1. That is the same that is costing the Lord Celestin. So I don't think the Glyphon is comparable to Lord Celestin. Lord Castellan is costing the same as his Glyphon. So if you want to play Lord Castellan, don't put the Glyphon. Yeah, there are things that and I have found other things on this game too. So we are learning, we are trying to create. And then the other thing is that they create scenarios. We play 3 different scenarios in each battle. We get points for killing the general, for killing characters, for taking banners like in fantasy, and for taking the BSB in case there is one, or I guess from the Lord Relictor is counting as a BSB. But also you get 2 points if you 1d3 points if you hold the terrain. So yeah, if you are in a close battle, they still give a lot of importance to kill, but they put some objective that gives some incentive to try to spread the army and to go for the objectives. We have a different type of objective here. There were 3 magic objectives that we want to hold at the end of the battle. Here there were some objectives on the table that we want to destroy, and to destroy the objective. I will explain this more in detail when I explain the battle report. And then we have another one that is to take how it's called this fortresses, small towers, and then there are 3 towers, and if you hold them at the end of the battle, you get also additional points, these 3 additional points. So this is quite interesting. I really enjoyed the games. I think what's very interesting. There is one that is very that I like it. That was deployment in diagonal. There is another one that was random deployment. So they make some rules to make the game quite interesting here. And then there is a calculation for the tournament. So there is a way to adapt. I think the game was quite balanced, and we really enjoyed the tournament. So we accomplished the objective is to get fun. And yeah, and I like to see people from different ages in the game. So that's all. Please let me know what is the comp you use in the if you have went to any tournament of Age of Sigmar, and what are the limitations and how they build the army. Please leave your comment below, like if you like it, and as usual, thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye.